one of the hardest things to do is to not come into agreement with some of the things we see, but come into agreement with the truth. And what I mean by that is, let's say you see a mountain of debt in front of you or unpaid bills, and you start focusing and emphasizing the unpaid bills and the debt and the this and the that, and you're coming into agreement into that. And if so, I'm not saying to deny the facts that that's not there. What I'm saying is to not let that have power over you, but you have the power over it. It's probably one of the hardest things to do, to think truth regardless of appearance. And then you ask, well, what's the truth? Because the truth is right in front of me. It's I owe all this, or I have this diagnosis, or whatever. The truth is in the Word of God. That's the truth. So you always go back to that source, to that vine, to that root. That's the truth. So when you start seeing things and when things start happening, you have to go back to the truth. You have to say, well, what does the Word say about this situation? What does the Bible say about this situation? What does God say? Who does God say I am? It's so difficult to do because there's so many things coming at us all the time. There's so many things we have to deal with. There's always something that comes up. It's like there's always a problem. Somebody always needs something. There's always a bill due, a this, a that. It's like this never-ending cycle of needing to get something done, needing to get something paid, never getting caught up. And then when you feel like you're caught up, on whatever it is, something else comes in, sideways and hits you. So you have to be rooted and grounded, especially in these days. These days right now are so, it's weird because none of it's surprising. Everything that's happening right now, once you know like the history of things and you start connecting the dots, you find the truth, because the truth isn't connecting the dots. None of it's like a surprise. You're not like, oh my gosh, can't believe that happened, because I'm like, oh, I can believe it happened because the Bible already talked about it. We're literally living in the book of Revelations. If you're not aware of that, like, get the knowledge, seek the understanding, because people perish for lack of understanding. They don't know what's happening. And so the problem is when you don't know, you don't make the right decisions because you don't have that wisdom. So this is why I was talking about like getting out of the nonsense, because we're so consumed with nonsense that we don't even realize what we're doing. Like I've had to unfollow some people on Instagram because, everybody, once things start getting towards Halloween, people start promoting Halloween stuff. I'm just not on board with that. For a long time, I thought, well, it's just skeletons and it's just this, it's just that, and it's not bad or whatever. So I would just kind of go along with it, kind of lukewarm, I guess. Now I'm like, no, I don't even want to see it. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to engage in anything in the darkness. I am fully aware of where it comes from, what it means, what it does, what you're bringing into your house, and people laughing about, oh, Friday the 13th, spooky day. Like, if you are that ignorant that you're not even aware of the numerology, the numbers that go along with this whole season and how it affects people, like, you're tapping into a darkness and you're inviting it in and you're coming into agreement with it. And so I don't want to come into agreement with those things. So what I do is I just push it back. No, thank you. I'm not interested in this. And so I don't support people who do those things. You might say that's judging, or that's, oh, well, you should have grace, and how can you lead them if you don't? Well, I'm not going to compromise my life so they're happy. I'm not going to get into a conversation with somebody who wants to justify what they're doing when I know clearly. Now, I'm not at the beginning of this journey. I'm years beyond it. In the beginning, I had to go through, well, I can understand, and then they want to do fun things, and all these churches want to do trunk or treats, or they want to do all this fun stuff or whatever. And so in the beginning, there was a lot of compromise because I was kind of sorting it out. I'm years past that. Now I'm like, no, black and white. I'm not interested. I'm not doing it. I'm not involved in it. I'm not engaging in it. And I'm definitely not supporting it. If you support it, I can't support you. Like, it is what it is. So you get to this point in your life where you're just like, I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm not here to appease your bad decisions or the decisions that I don't agree with. I'm not here to come to bring my life into alignment. I'm not here to bring my life into alignment with what's wrong and come into alignment and agreement with anything of the darkness. The Bible says to expose the darkness, not become one with it, not engage in it. So you have to function at a much higher level and get out of the nonsense, like blowing your money on junk, eating crap food, listening to garbage music, buying every trendy item from Shein that's made from plastic, that's disrupting your hormones, giving you skin issues, it's disrupting your gut lining, your endocrine system. All of that toxic clothing that you're showcasing, if you're like, oh, I got this for $2 at Shein, I got this from Temu. Temu steals all your information. I mean, it's basically what they do. All of these sites, it's just garbage. So you're basically giving your money over to the enemy in exchange for junk. So I don't want to say the enemy, but you get what I'm saying. You got to be wise. You have to be 10 steps ahead in these times. Like, you have to be ahead of the game. And you have to be, the only way to do that is if you're walking with Jesus. That's it. Because you need to tap in to where he wants you to go and what he wants you to do. So you have to walk hand in hand with him daily. Whether it's a little bit at a day, you're talking with him, I'm not saying you have to study all day and shut the whole world off. You have to obviously do life and take care of business. But it's just those small, still moments that are like, you know what? God impressed on my heart or on my spirit to do this today, or to call this person, or to text this person, or to start this business, or to whatever it is. So you have to be the one to do the work. He's going to guide your steps. When he guides your steps, you just have to start walking, and things unfold as you start walking. You don't have to have it all figured out. It doesn't have to be in your quarterly planner and, all this information that's, that you have all planned out or whatever. You make a guideline, you make a kind of a blueprint, a plan of what direction you're going in. But God ultimately guides your steps and helps you get to that. And if he wants to make adjustments or detours, you're just kind of walking with him. So that's the faith walk. That's the faith walk. Like today, I wasn't planning on coming for a walk. I have hair oil in my hair because I was doing a little self-care morning. But it rained last night and it was so nice. I thought, it's 85 degrees. It's going to be 115 again in a few days. I'm getting outside. It's humid. I need that humidity. So it's been so dry. It's just beautiful. And we got these puffy clouds in the sky. So I thought, I'm going to get outside. Wasn't planning on doing a video. And then I thought, I'm going to do a video. So it's like God will kind of lead you when you aren't married to all of your to-dos. If I said, well, I need to get through all my to-dos before I go outside, it would have been the afternoon and it would have been 15 degrees hotter. So I thought, I'm just going to get dressed and go out right now. So you have to do that. Man, I'm so glad I did, because it's beautiful outside. Stop what you're doing, get a walk in, get some fresh air in. You might ask, how do I not come into agreement with the things that I'm facing on a day-to-day basis, on a battle every single day? Well, again, you're not denying the fact that it's there. If you have a diagnosis for something, you're not denying the fact. You're not denying that you owe that bill or whatever it is. You're not denying those facts. But you're going deeper than that, and you're tapping into the truth of what God says about all these situations. You're more than conquerors. Like, that's what you meditate on. You don't meditate on the debt over and over and over in your mind. Oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I don't know how I'm going to do half the things that I do. And honestly, I don't know how I do it until it gets done. And then I'm like, oh, that was so God. From the littlest thing to the big thing. I give him the recognition on all of it, because I may have plans, but he makes it all happen. And the way he makes it happen is usually totally different than what I thought or how I thought it could happen. How things get paid. Half the time, I don't know. I'm like, well, I got some things here, and I got some money coming in here, and I got, we got this business over here, but it's kind of like, I don't know exactly how it's going to work out. And then all of a sudden, boom, came from way over here. And so it builds my faith, which allows me to talk about this with conviction, because it's that conviction, it's that passion of, I know I know that God has the best for you. You have to surrender your life. You have to surrender things. You have to die to self. You have to let some of these things go. Just to touch base on the Halloween thing again. If you're still somebody who engages in Halloween, I'm not here to judge you, but I am here to tell you to pray on it and really ask God to open up your spiritual eyes to what you're bringing into your home, what you're engaging in, what you're allowing, what you are exposing your kids to. And I'm telling you, it is so deep and so dark than you might even know. And it's a time that people come into agreement with the darkness. Don't do it. Don't even open up that door. You got to slam that door shut. You know, I've gone through so many, I know a lot of people have gone through trials and things. We all go through stuff. But when your life is constantly like a trial, and when your life is constantly like a battle, you know it's because you're doing what God wants you to do. That's like the first indicator. I'm like, oh, I'm at war. I wake up every day and I'm like, it's war. I think that's why I can't ever back down and I don't ever shut up because this is war. And it's a spiritual war, but a lot of the stuff is done in the physical. You know, it could be spiritual things that we're inviting in naturally. It's like here's a really great example. You may have a really great heart. You love God, you love people, and maybe you serve and you give and you volunteer and you're helping the orphans and the widows and you're doing all this stuff. But you are constantly consuming garbage and feeling your body with garbage. Okay, so just because you love God and you do all of these things doesn't mean that that's going to offset all of the inflammation, the heart disease, the, huge fat deposits around your body that's suffocating your organs, the pre-diabetic, all of these things that you're causing. And you could be like, why is this happening to me? Well, because it's a simple thing that you're doing to yourself. So there's a lot of really great people, a lot of great God-fearing, loving people. They love their country, they love God, they love each other, they want to do what's right. You're trying to be a good parent, that are not living victorious lives. And why? Why is that? Why is it that these people who love God and who want to do all this stuff are, sick and poor? Like, why is that? We have to get the knowledge to make the decisions that align ourselves with the things that God really wants for us. I feel like He has the things for us. He says He gives you the power to get wealth. He doesn't give it to you. He gives you the power to get it. So you have to align yourself. Well, what is that? How do I actually align myself with to have this victorious life, to have a life of prosperity? He says He wants you to prosper as your soul prospers. Well, that means your body must prosper too, because your body is the only thing that keeps you on earth. Without your body, you're not just a floating head. So He wants you to prosper as your soul prospers. That means you have to do the things that come into alignment with a prosperous life. Well, what are those things? You can't be functioning at this lower level all the time. You can't be the same person as you were a year ago and 2 years ago and 3 years ago, doing the same things, buying the same stuff, showcasing the same things. Like, stop doing all that. You can't keep doing the same thing and be like, oh, I'm growing year after year. No, you're not. You're actually going backwards, because what you're doing is you're basically deteriorating. If you're not growing, you're deteriorating. So you have to be like ahead of, it's like God might be wanting you to move somewhere, right? He may be telling you, I have something else for you. You might, and maybe not in those like verbal way, but you just know we're going somewhere. Something's changing. A season's changing. This old season's up. But the actual move might not happen for a year. It might not happen for 6 months. He might be giving you that little vision so you can then start preparing and start coming into alignment and agreement with that move. So what would that entail? Well, it would entail getting things in order, right? Where do you want me to go, God? What do you want me to do? And when we moved in here, I didn't know we were going to move here until 2 weeks after we moved, or before we moved. I didn't even know. It wasn't even on the radar. We didn't even look at it. I just heard one day God tell me to go look at this place, and I'm like, okay, I know the voice of God. I know when he's speaking to me, so I don't even question. And I didn't know how much it was. I didn't know anything about it. Nothing. Never looked before. I said, okay. All I had was the name of the place. So I said, okay. So I looked it up, told my husband, we need to go look at this place. He's like, why? I'm like, well, this is where we're moving. And 2 weeks later, we moved. And that was it. And so it was even out of season because we were still in a lease on our old little townhouse that we had. So it was out of season. It wasn't like, well, we need to wait. Nope, God uprooted us prior to that, like at a specific time. So we needed to be open and willing. So we had 2 weeks to get in order, and that was it. So it could happen any way when you're allowing God to lead and guide you, but you'll know, like, okay, this is time for this old season to be up. Like this old me needs to kind of die down. Like these old habits need to be done with once and for all. You know, this old way. You need to stand up for the life that Jesus died for you to have. Like, quit playing small. Get up. Get going, you know, start saying, like, I'm not going to tolerate these lower things anymore. I'm not going to buy this junk anymore. You know, instead of buying Folgers coffee that's full of mold, by the way, buy a nice, good, organic coffee that actually heals your gut instead of destroying it. Not, you know, yeah, it might be $5 or $10 more. Your body's going to thank you. Those are the decisions I'm talking about. Those are like the little daily decisions. That's really how you fight back in this type of economy, is with your dollars, with what you're doing, who you support, who you invest in, where you invest your time, what you buy, where you go, what you do, what you listen to. You know, I don't listen to trash music because I don't want to support it. Why would I want to make those people richer? Why do I want to make Taylor Swift richer? I've had to unfollow women because I don't agree with that. You're letting your 7-year-old go to a Taylor Swift concert? Like, how stupid. Like, I'm sorry, but that is like so terrible. And these women are just like, oh yeah, I'm having a Swiftie party for my kid. You know, they're 7. Stop doing that. You have to wake up. Like, be awake, not woke, awake. Wake up. Start seeing things with discerning eyes and discerning spirit. A discerning spirit with wisdom. Ask God to show you. He says he'll give you as much wisdom as you ask for. Just keep asking. I need more wisdom in this situation. Give me wisdom in this situation. I need wisdom here. I need to know what to do here. He will give you everything that you need to navigate through some of the messiest, you know, to-dos and the most entangled messes. He will give you the steps to take. He'll bring the people. He'll bring the finances, the resources. You do not have to know how it's all going to pan out, but you do have to trust him. You have to do your part by not complaining and not talking against what he's trying to do. Like, zip it. If you can't come into agreement, then don't go against it. Don't make it harder for yourself. And by that I mean, like, if you're always saying, oh, we can never afford this, well, stop saying that. Stop saying the things that you don't want. Like, stop coming into agreement with what you don't want to happen. Come into agreement with what you do want to happen, even if it's not happening at that moment. Even if you're not physically experiencing at that moment, come into agreement with it. That's what faith is. You're coming into agreement with what you can't see, but you're hoping for and you're believing for and you're expecting for. You know, it's like the desire for something is you're giving that, the desire goes out, but the expectation is like the magnet that pulls it back to you. So you can't just hope and wish and desire. You have to expect it. The expecting part is you're doing the work, you're lining up to do what needs to be done for what you're expecting. There's an example about a group of people and a small boy, and they were all believing for rain. They were all praying for rain, and they went outside and they were like, it's going to rain today. But the only one who brought an umbrella was the little boy. So who was the one who was actually expecting the rain? The little boy. He came prepared with an umbrella for the rain, and everybody else hoped, believed, that was a desire, they wanted it, they prayed for it, but he showed up prepared for it. That's the difference that I'm saying. When you are prepared for something, you actually show up the way that you need to show up because you're expecting that to be answered. You're expecting what you're believing for to be done. So that's the difference. You know, you got to rise up, you got to stand up, you have to take your authority, run your race, Get your home and life in order. Do what you got to do. I mean, this is going to be a beautiful season for you, and push back against the darkness.